So here we are again. I have reached the point where I want to place my buttons. So here is what I did. I first decided where to place my buttons, and I thought this would be the first button and the second here. I will place 1/3 in the bottom ribbing. That is not done yet. I will do the bottom ribbing here. So now let's focus on these two buttons. Okay, I need to do 2 buttonholes. So I counted the rows to see in which row each button is corresponding, or with which row it is aligned, okay? So that I can do the buttonhole at the exactly same, point on the other side, okay? So the first button is in the 3rd row, 1, 2, 3, and the second is on the 7th row, okay? So I will count. I will place stitch markers on the other side as well on the 3rd. 1, 2, 3 here on the 3rd row. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on the 7th. Okay, so this will make my work a lot easier. And of course, my buttonholes and the buttons aligned. So let's do the first buttonhole so it's aligned with this first stitch marker. Okay, so I will do the slip stitch here. It's exactly where the stitch marker is. So here, that's actually perfect. And I will do my buttonhole in this next row. Let's turn our work. Okay, so in total I have 8 closed half double crochets in each row. So I will do 4 closed half double crochets. Okay, let's do them. The first will go here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will chain 1. I will skip my next stitch, and I will do 3 more closed half double crochets, okay, in the 3 last stitches. Okay, then here is my hole, my loop that I created. I will chain 1, I will turn my work, and now I will just do as normal 8 closed half double crochets. So I just did 1 chain and I skipped 1 stitch in the row that I want my buttonhole to be. It doesn't really show, to be honest, look, but it's there, and it's necessary so that I can be able to button up my cardigan if I want to. So let's try out here to see if the button can pass through, and yes, it can. And be careful not to choose smaller buttons than this one. This is a button with 3 centimeters diameter, because this is a thick yarn, and this is the smallest of a buttonhole that you can achieve. We just skipped 1 stitch, so this whole buttonhole would be big for a smaller button. Okay, so the button will go here, okay, on the other side of the cardigan, on the right side, and it will look like this. Be very careful when placing the buttons, so that they are, aligned with the buttonholes. We want them to be exactly at the point where we have done the It's not complicated, it's simple. I will continue with my ribbing, and I will do exactly the same for the second button when I reach this stitch marker. And we will meet again when doing the bottom ribbing and the last buttonhole with we will actually continue with the white cardigan in next video. So here we are again, ready to continue with the bottom ribbing. We will continue with the same yarn without cutting it. And we will start by chaining 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I want to do my ribbing here, okay? So I will start by doing my first row of half double crochets. So I will be working exactly the same as I did with the rest of the ribbing, okay? So I'm just doing my half double crochets until I reach the point where I want to join. Let's speed up this video and finish this first row. And now I'm ready to join. So I'm gonna do 2 slip stitches in next 2 stitches. I'm gonna turn my work. One moment, I need a stitch marker. Okay, I'm gonna skip these 2 slip stitches and I'm gonna continue doing closed half double crochets, okay, as normal. So on the bottom ribbing we will be working exactly like we have been working in the neck area, okay? Do you remember that we alternated 2 slip stitches and 3 slip stitches? Okay, so now on the next joining I will do 3 slip stitches. I'm going to chain 1 and continue with my third row. And in this row I'm also going to do my buttonhole for the last button. So let's do 3 closed half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch and continue doing not half, closed half double crochets in next 4 stitches, okay? This is the last one. And now I'm going to join with 3 slip stitches in next 3 stitches, okay? So here is the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to do my first closed half double crochet in my fourth stitch, okay, here. And I will just continue like this throughout the whole bottom ribbing, okay? So just, do the buttonhole in the third row and then continue alternating 2 and 3 slip stitches when joining. And after doing the bottom ribbing we will continue doing the cuffs. I have actually prepared a video with the cuffs, but I will not publish it because it's not needed. You will be working exactly the same way for the cups, but you will be joining each time with 3 slip stitches, okay? So there is nothing new to show. Let's meet again when the cuffs are ready, okay? And I will also show you the finished product, the finished cardigan. So here is the finished cardigan, the green one. the ribbings. Here, the bottom ribbing, the cuffs, okay, and the buttons are on place, okay. So what I want to mention that it's very important is that when you wash it, you have to hand wash it and lay it flat to dry to ensure that it will maintain its shape. Okay, we want to avoid shrinking and stretching. This is wool yarn, so that's why it's so important. So what happens when you, for example, when you hang it to dry, it will stretch because the fibers will elongate under its own weight, okay? And that is distorting the shape and the size. Okay, so it's stretching out in an uneven shape. So it's very important to flat dry. And it's also very important not to heat dry it, because that will cause damages to the fibers, okay? And it will cause the opposite effect. It will cause uneven shrinkage, okay? So it will become smaller. And of course, in an uneven shape. So be very careful when washing it and when drying it, okay? One last thing is that when you hand wash it, you will notice that it's expanding, okay? It looks much bigger while wet, okay? While it's wet. But once it's finally flat dried, okay, it recovers its original size. So keep that in mind, because when I washed my first wool garment, I remember that I was very disappointed because it stretched out to be, like 1-2 sizes bigger. But when drying it, flat drying it, it really, recovers the size, okay? So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write to me. Send me an email or whatever is convenient for you. You can find me on Instagram or leave a comment here below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you happy stitches.